back again for another episode of the No Filters podcast. It's real people,
real stories,
real talk, and
no filter.
Right? And so, my name is Drew. I'm Father Drew. On Instagram, you can find me at Father Drew. This is my lovely co-host,
India, your girl India. You can find me on India Glow Up on Instagram.
Yeah. And we're your hosts. Welcome to No Filters podcast. So what are you talking about today? India, tell me about your week.
My week was about preparation, okay? So I am starting with a new company. I'm not going to say the name right now. You guys know I'm a financial advisor. And I'm just trying to be patient when it comes to clients, when it comes to that transition, just getting to know new colleagues, all that good stuff. So, yeah.
All right.
What about yours?
My week was long. It started off long on Sunday.
No.
By Sunday night, I thought it was Tuesday. By Monday, I thought it was Thursday.
Oh, gosh.
It was the longest week.
In a long time?
It was the longest week in a long time. On Monday, I was like, I literally thought like it was like at least Wednesday. And
that's the worst. Well, I can say.
It reminded me of like the beginning of the pandemic where you just lost track of time. You didn't know what day of the week it was. It was like one of those weeks. Like I was having a really, really, really hard time. Yesterday, like I recorded with some of my friends who have a podcast, and I was like, yeah, we can hang out all night. And he was like, yeah. And one of their kids goes to school with my children. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, but we gotta get up tomorrow to take the kids to school. I was like, Saturday? He's like, come on, man. Today's Thursday. And we still got another day this week.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, this week is still dragging along. So, it was a long week. And
well, thank God it's over, right?
Yeah. And it ended, my son got into an altercation at school.
Oh, no.
The little one.
Are you serious? Oh, my God.
So he's been talking about this.
So how old is your son?
He's 6.
Oh, my goodness.
And he's got a mouth. Listen, I'm talking to you. Talking to you. Talking to you right here. Talking to you.
Oh,
this
my
boy
gosh.
has got a mouth on him. Like, we were talking last night, me and my wife. We were in bed. Like I don't know what to do about him because it's one thing if you talk back, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. As a 6-year-old, and you'd be like, yo, stop. Like, be quiet. But it's another thing, like, if you talk back and you have the logic of, like, a 70-year-old.
Wow.
Like, then it's problematic because you can't just tell him, like, be quiet.
And he's like, why?
Yeah.
Like, I'm speaking.
Like, he's going to come back with a question that's not why, but he's already challenging you with some logic, and you're like, I don't need that right now.
Yeah.
Like, go to bed.
I just need you to go to bed
just,
right
like,
now.
do something else. Like, just stop talking. Like, sometimes I gotta be like, yo, just stop talking. Stop talking. No talking back.
Oh, man. So, yeah,
he got into an altercation.
Did he start it?
He started it with his mouth. He told the little kid that, I guess he told him that he could choke him. And the other kid actually choked him.
Oh, wow.
Or put his hands around his neck. And they were playing like they're kids.
Oh, right. Exactly.
But it makes sense that his mouth started it. Yeah.
So you're going to have to get him into some defense.
Some karate.
Yes, classes. So what are you thinking? I mean, I think it's important for kids to know how to defend themselves.
I'm not going to tell you what I've been telling him in case somebody messes with him. I just say punch him in the nose.
Yeah.
You get punched in the nose, it's going to
it's going to teach you a lesson. Yeah, it's going
to you're going to get caught off guard.
Mm-hmm.
Your nose going to be bleeding.
You just got hit in the face.
You got to take a second for the pain to
register.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And but my wife reassures me that that's not the right thing to tell him at his private school in kindergarten. Punch another little kid in the nose. So, for the record, if you're watching, I haven't told him to punch nobody in the nose.
Okay.
To the administrators of the school who could
be
could
watching
not be
this.
Watching.
Yeah.
We are anti-violence. We promote peace in our home. And that's my story.
And you're sticking to it?
And I'm absolutely sticking to it.
Okay. Well, I hear you. So, we always like to talk about the unfiltered topic. And our unfiltered topic for today is 50-50 in a relationship, whether it is dating or marriage.
And marriage.
So, how do you feel about that? And when we say 50-50, we're talking about like the dynamic of splitting the bills, paying for the date.
So we'll start from the dating stage. Like
Yes.
you're going out to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Like a young man. Like I've been married for like almost 15 years, right?
Kudos to you.
Thank you.
You and Chev is both. Absolutely.
And you were married?
Yes, I've been divorced for 2.5 years and was married for 12 years.
All right. So that's 12 is a long time. Your life experience for 12 years.
Absolutely.
But now you might be dating again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if a young man or old head brother like myself, apparently, according to the
you're old head now.
to the young boy Models who called me Mister.
Well, I got ma'am one time, and I was just like, it hurt my heart, y'all.
He was like, "Hey, Mister, you know what time it is?" I'm paying him no mind. And Teller was like, "I think he's talking to you." I turned around. I said, "Mister." He said it like 4 times. "Hey, Mister, you got the time?"
Oh my God.
I said, You called me. So for the young men or the misters who might be taking you out, if they're trying to, at the end of the date, the bill comes, do they have to pay for it? Or is there an expectation, or can you go 50-50? And what happens if you do go 50-50?
So no.
No, meaning what? Do you have to pay
No,
for it?
they cannot do 50-50. They must pay for the first date. I'm a traditionalist, and not in everything, y'all, but in like,
you ain't a traditionalist.
But when it comes to like chivalry and like the old way of what, how we used to be approached and how women used to be treated and courted, okay? Like I still believe in that. Absolutely. So if someone's like, yeah, so sis, like, so that's half for me. Like I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll pay half. He ain't gonna never see me again. I'm saying that.
I mean, chivalry is very much to your benefit. I mean, what ways does chivalry benefit us?
That's a good question. It doesn't.
That's a great question. That might be a whole topic for another podcast.
Yeah, I think so too. But I mean, that's just what I'm used to. That's what makes me feel like a woman, like a lady, like I'm being treated like I'm supposed to be treated.
So there's no 50-50 in dating? Or on a date?
On the first date, I'll say that.
Okay, first date.
So that's what I'm talking about, the first date. I don't know you, you don't know me, but you've asked me out, okay?
So first date, he must pay.
Absolutely.
Second, third, fourth. At what point can he say,
like, so let's can
split
we
this?
All right, so if we get to a fourth date, or even third, but I'll say fourth to be on the safe side, then I'm liking you. I'm feeling you. There's a connection. We're building something. We're having a good time. So I think that, on the fourth date, then it's like, it can definitely be Dutch. And I wouldn't have a problem with it because I'm liking you. I'm feeling you.
All right.
So
at what point do you pay me back for the first 3 days that I paid for? That's what I really want to know.
Wait, what? I pay you back?
I need to know
at what point that work?
Am I not coming out my pocket for a date?
I don't think that's ever. Like, no, like real talk. Like, it's funny because when I was married, I was like, I'm going to pay for our date. Like, we just had a random date, you know what I mean? And I was like, I'm gonna take care of it, babe. Like, this night is on me. He's like, for real? And I'm like, yeah, it can't be that deep. Like, what?
Yeah. Negro.
I paid for our night out. It was a good $250. And I was like, this what you do? Like,
yeah.
I was flabbergasted. Like, this is how much we spent.
And that's what we gotta do to get in the door? To just crack the door open a little bit? To get to meet you That's what we doing.
But we had a really good time though. Like we went to. It wasn't just like, oh
we gotta
yeah,
pay
we're just
for
going
a good
to.
time.
Yeah, but
exactly.
Yeah.
To have a good time, somebody got to pay for it.
That's so crazy.
Unless
so then that's
take
when I was like,
you like, all right, sweetheart, look, I set us up a picnic in the park.
But that's romantic too. Like y'all be
I got
like,
a bottle of wine. I got a tray of cheese and meat from Wawa.
Wait.
And we just gonna have a good time. I got
you
some crackers.
You had to throw a Wawa.
Listen,
You threw me all the way.
I got a whole fruit platter from Wawa, some cheese and crackers, and we're gonna have a good time.
Listen, you got to do it right. Like
I'm gonna pull out some nice china.
Okay.
And silverware, but I got that Wawa budget popping, right?
Wait.
Look, Wawa's
no, like if you got only a Wawa budget popping, then we ain't probably popping at all.
I can
like
get you a soup, Wawa soup. Look, we can go the whole. We can do 3-4 courses from Wawa. Make it look real nice. No. I don't gotta spend $250.
Well, I'm not saying you always have to spend $250. Like I'm not saying that, but you gotta do the best you can do with what you have.
I mean, I think that's great. And I never did a date like that. Like, it might be time for me to be like, yo, shorty.
Talk to Chef. It's like,
let's get a babysitter. We're going to the park.
No, but I'm the reason why I think it's dope because it's thoughtful. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all actually have to plan it out. Like, think about it. You're not just, like, doing it on a whim. Like, you actually have to plan it and be like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to set this up. Da-da-da. Like, that's actually important to women. Like, oh, I see him. Yeah. Okay.
So, fellas,
that's impressive.
When y'all go on these Wawa dates, I just put you on to. Y'all better give me my props. And just tag me real tiny in the picture. I don't even gotta see you ain't gotta see it. But if you tag me and make it small, I'm still gonna see it. They don't gotta see my name, but I want credit for the Wawa picture.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about when it comes to a marriage and a relationship? Like, do you believe in 50-50 as well?
I believe in one pot.
That's good. Yeah, it is. Because, I mean, it is one pot.
I mean, unless you are planning for unless you have a contingency plan to be separate, I'm like, put it all in the pot.
But what about people that actually are in marriages that they can't put their stuff together because this person handles the money completely different than the other person? Like, how does that work? And, like, do you know?
I mean, that's a good question. I think whoever handles the money better, let them get more of the pot.
Really?
And
I beg to differ.
And if it's me and I can't spend my money well, then maybe I'll take a little allowance. But if somebody's not as good with money, then they probably lack the discipline to say, here, take this portion of my stuff anyway. You know what I mean?
Yes,
and so you might have split accounts and somebody runs through their stuff while somebody else is more responsible over here.
They're handling that part. Yeah.
But I think, as much as you can, just put it all in one pot.
Yeah, I agree. But I know like a lot of people don't, just like you said, know how to handle the money properly. Yeah. But I think the person that is irresponsible should also be the person to be like, okay, surrender your part. Like, okay, well, I know I can't handle that part, so why don't you help me with this,
Yeah,
what do you
but
think?
They are still going to do what they do.
Yeah, that's true.
So I feel like if you want to get out of that, then you develop a plan and you develop a reason to get out of that, right? So it's like, all right, let's save some money. Let's save money by property. Let's figure out how to spend a certain way. Let's use credit cards, not for the purpose of not using cash, but let's use credit cards so that we can build points. You know what I mean? And not have our debit cards and stuff like that out there. I feel like if you have a plan, if you have a reason for doing something, then there's going to be more incentive for you to follow that plan.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But if it's just I'm better with money, give me the money,
then
it's
like
not
way
going to happen.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Like if you're trying to buy a property, if you have a reason
like a goal,
to, if you have a goal,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
then you're gonna, work towards that goal.
Yeah.
But if you don't, then,
it's gonna be on two separate pages all the time.
All the time.
I agree.
All the
I agree.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. So our topic of this episode today is we can't be friends. Dang. Okay.
We can't be friends.
I'm still in love.
Yeah.
So.
And that part matters.
Yes. So that last part, what I say, right, or
Yeah.
halfway sing,
Yeah.
I can actually sing, y'all. That's a whole
I'm
nother
still
story.
in love
But
with you. That makes a difference.
No, but
in
it
that whole
does.
Conversation, right?
Because I think, in my opinion, when it comes to having friendship after a relationship, the first question is it possible? And I'm going to answer my first question.
Mm-hmm.
I think it has to be very clear on who is still in love with whom, because you can't front and be like, oh, he doesn't matter to me, and then it's like, oh my God, I'm still in love with him.
Yeah.
And we're trying to play it off like it's friends, and he's like, yeah, we just kicking it, like it's cool.
I mean, I feel like if you can break up and remain friends, then there's still love there.
Yeah, that's true. That's
mean?
true. But can it be love or care for? Because some people get that very, very mixed up. Don't you agree? Or no?
Nah, I think it's love.
Yeah.
I feel like it's love because if it weren't, then it's, I don't want nothing to do with you. You know what I mean? You can care for somebody.
Yeah.
But the relationship is, if you have to divorce, then it's for a reason, right?
It's true.
Or
Absolutely.
break up is
Right.
for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like if we can still communicate afterwards, then there's something making me want to.
Okay.
And it has to be more than care. Like, I can care from a distance.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
No, you're absolutely right.
But if I still want to have that line of communication open, then there's a reason.
Right, but then sometimes you have to, right? So like if you have to have that line of communication, especially if you have children.
If you have children, yeah.
Like, or like your families are so intertwined because you've been in that marriage for 15, 12, something odd years. And it's like, dang, like my mom is really like connected to XYZ. And I can't sever that unless, it gets complicated. But until then, it's like, what do you do?
All right. Well, I mean, so I think it's possible, right? I think it's possible to maintain those friendships.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to all that other stuff, in terms of like family and friends, it depends on how y'all broke up. And even in terms of maintaining a relationship, it depends on how you broke up, right? Is it a clean break, or is it strings attached? And we know what strings attached means. You know what I mean? So if I'm still hitting you up and we still kicking it,
figuratively and literally, right?
Yeah. Hitting you up all night long. But if I'm still, hitting you up 3:00 in the morning, like, yo, like, let's talk or let's hang out or whatever, and we're doing that, then that's not a clean break.
It's true. No, you're right. And
so,
but can the two people handle it? Because in my opinion, I think someone's going to get that line crossed. Like that line is going to fade in some kind of way. Because usually somebody between the two actually has more than just like, oh, it's just fun. We're still friends. It's all good. Like, and then somebody that's just like, oh my God, I want her back or I want him back. Like,
yeah. naturally in a relationship, because it's two different people, so there's always two different viewpoints anyway. Right. Which is probably what led to the divorce, because you couldn't figure stuff out. Yeah. Maybe, you know what I mean? But even when coming back together, it's still somebody's going to want you more than the other.
Than the person, yeah.
You know what I mean? True. Or it may, they're just like, all right, I'm just going to keep it, it's going to be physical and just that. But
then the other person's on the other side, like, I think she liked me. Like,
no, like, I'm going to get it back. I'm going to get it back. I'm going to throw it on. I'm going to throw it down all night long. I'm gonna take my 50
Yo, she gonna be crazy. Like
I'm gonna win her back tonight.
Yes.
It's
all crazy. Yeah.
So I mean, it.
And do you think, I have another question for you, do you think that women catch more feelings than men? Do you think men catch more feelings than women? Or do you think it's just a human thing?
I think it all depends on how you broke up. I think if you break a man's heart,
then you always gonna want that old thing back?
No. I think if a man gets his heart broke and he's like, all right, I'm done, then I think there's a higher chance of him being done.
Really? Why do you say that? This is interesting. Like, what?
Because men's hearts don't mend easily. When they break, they shatter like that glass that fell out earlier.
So you know the saying is, what is it? Oh my God, I'm sorry, y'all.
I don't know
what is it. Like, you know, the saying is like, when a woman's fed up, there ain't nothing you can do about it. Like, he wrote a song. I'm not going to talk about who wrote the song because I don't mess with the bull like that. But we'll say he had a real good point. Like, ain't nothing. There's nothing that anyone can do about it. You think?
There's something. Listen.
No, but I'm trying to say is, if a woman is fed up and you say it's something, then she ain't fed up. Like, when she is fed up, she's done.
I agree with you.
Like, there's nothing that he can say.
Yeah.
Nothing that he can say. His friends, family, her friends, her family, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, when she's done.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
And when a man's fed up, though, I feel like it's even more drastic, because a woman has the ability to get her way back in there, even if it's just physical. You know what I mean?
It's some kind of way.
But when he's like, I don't even want to touch you, I don't want to see you, I don't want to be near you, leave me alone, I'm about to get a restraining order, like I blocked you on everything. Like, at that point, yeah, it is what it is.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, I guess I feel like that any person can get that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, when a person is either heartbroken enough or fed up enough, that when they're done, they're done. Like, there is nothing anyone can say or do.
It's like, except for Jesus. He's going to say, it is finished.
Exactly.
He
going to remind you with it. So, do you think a person can maintain, like, friendships when, you know, the family or the friends? Like, so say if me and my ex-husband, like, had mutual friends, like, do you think that those relationships can be maintained?
I mean, that's hard.
Yeah.
Because, you know, at the end of the day, people got to choose. People pick sides. I mean, depending on how you broke up. Like, it all goes down to how bad was the breakup. I mean,
and whose fault is it, or no?
Like, if the family members was rolling on you in the parking lot, if they trying to beat you up, then you're probably not going to maintain those relationships. Probably not.
But what if it's an amicable? Let's go on that. Like, if it's an amicable relationship that severed for whatever their reasons were, and they really didn't talk about it too much, or they talked about it but wasn't like crazy. Yeah. Do you think?
I mean, listen, I got the personality that I'm going to be nice to everybody.
We have the personality. Remember, it's a Libra thing.
It's a Libra thing.
Yes.
So, you know, unless they hate us, they're going to love us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then we know how to talk to family members and friends, and we're not actively. It's not like I don't care about how your friends feel,
right?
Because we care about how everybody feels.
We do.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, well, your friends are gonna like me too, especially while we're dating, and they may be mad at me if I treat you wrong and we break up, but they still gonna hang out with me. If I see them out, I see them out and I buy them drinks, they still gonna be all right.
Yeah, right.
Like,
but you know what?
They might be mad at me still,
right?
But they gonna know, like, all right, he's who he is,
right?
He's
and that's
cool,
again, like, I think it goes back to like the person's character.
Yeah.
So say if you did mess up, right, and you and the person were no longer together anymore, but they remember how you treated them. So I think that's what it comes down to. Because if you didn't have like, or treat them with respect or love or whatever the case may be while y'all were together, like when y'all break up for whatever reason, she's like, either I don't mess with you anymore because I never really did, or I really mess with you like that because I always did. You found me?
I mean, you just gotta treat people right.
Yeah, that's
you
what it
treat
comes down
people
to.
right, even if things aren't going well.
Mm-hmm.
Then it it resonates in your other relationships, and then your relationships with family members. They're like, well, he wasn't beating her up. You know what I mean, they weren't fighting in the streets. It wasn't a crazy. Like I don't live in the suburbs.
Mm-hmm.
I live in the hood, and on any given night, there's a lot of drama that we get to hear about because they're outside arguing, the couples. You know what I mean? And it may be, and it's multiple couples.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not one neighbor. And so I was out the other night, outside of my house, and I'm like, what is going on right now? I called my man who's my neighbor, like, yo, y'all good? Because it sounded like it was coming from his area. And he's like, yeah, it's not me. And the next day, it was just like, oh, this is on my street. Like these people are having a real issue. But every time I hear those things and hear people interacting that way, it's like, man, like I'm thankful that I don't interact with my wife like this. Yeah. Because that would crush her. Yeah. You know what I mean? Right. Or vice versa. Like it, and it's just a testament to work, but it also lets me know that all right, people don't know how to deal with themselves within relationships.
Yeah,
you know
and it's also, I think it has to do with about how you were raised,
like
what you're used to. Because sometimes a person can want to be in something that's very calm and let's have a conversation and let's discuss this, but they're so used to that and they were like raised that way that when they are faced with something that's calm, that's unsettling to them. And they're like, I'm not used to this. This doesn't feel right. So then they'll sometimes cause an argument just to kind of feel like normal again, which is crazy, but it makes sense because that's what they're used to.
I call it terraforming.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like you create what you are comfortable with. Like you have to create that environment.
Yeah. No matter if it's good for you or bad.
Or good for you or bad. And men and women do it, and it's just based off of what you are accustomed to.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You try and create what is comfortable for you. Chaos might be comfortable for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you'll just try and create what is comfortable for you.
And the thing is, I think sometimes people are scared to make that uncomfortable adjustment for the betterment of them and everybody else around them.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, just like you said, like when you are in a relationship and you actually have either good things going on or bad, or you have like drama in the streets, it's affecting everybody. You were affected and it had nothing to do with you. You're just a neighbor. But just imagine how it's affecting their kids if they have them,
and
their family members, their friends. So that's why it's so important that I think sometimes people just like, oh, it's just between you and I. I'm like, no,
it's not.
It's not. It's affecting everybody you know, literally.
I mean, I've had situations where family members come up to defend.
Right.
And
then it's like the next day you're like, oh, that's my baby. Like,
you
you just had me curse them out. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it doesn't make sense.
And then you might see the same family members like a few days later, and they're cool with
the person,
this dude who was wilding out.
Yes, and that I came to your crib for. Yes, absolutely.
But I think that once that relationship is over, those types of relationships, they're like good riddance to this.
Right, because you caused me drama.
Yeah. Like I've been telling you to leave him since day one, and that's when a lot of the feelings come out. But I feel like if you treat people right, then like you won't burn bridges with family members.
Absolutely. It's about, like I said, it's about, just like you said, the character. So I really believe it leads to that.
Yeah. And so if you get a chance to work on your character.
Absolutely.
That's the hard part. I mean, sometimes you have to be reminded that it's your character.
It's true. And if you hear the same thing coming from different people, y'all, it's you.
It's you.
It's not them.
It's not them.
And I know it doesn't feel good, but I'm telling you, just listen to it. It's good for you.
Unless it's a crazy mom and her sister And
You just
then
don't
it's
like you,
them.
right?
They just don't. They don't know no better. Cause what's not to like? Yeah.
Okay.
So can we be friends? I guess we can be friends.
Yeah.
After that relationship, but it all depends on. It's all based on how I treated you throughout that relationship.
Absolutely. And time will heal all wounds, and it'll show you what the relationship is like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that was good.
Yeah. You know, you had to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to take my wife on vacation and I need her to pay for it. We're going to have 50-50.
No, not from you. It's the same pot. What you mean? You said it's the same pot. So
Shit.
remember that.
Right.
I got you, Chevis.
It's already paid for. It ain't come out the same pot. Nah.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah,
Always.
yeah,
Always.
yeah.
And hope you guys look forward to our next podcast episode. And again, this is India. And
my name is Drew, Father Drew, and this is No Filters Podcast, where it's real people,
real relationships,
real talk, and no filters.
filter.
So peace until next time.